I was 10 years out, comfortably retired, sitting on my porch with coffee and back pain, when I got the letter, subject to recall for active duty. I thought it was a prank, maybe one of my old Marine buddies pulling a joke. I even laughed, showed it to my wife, and said, "Look, the military wants Grandpa back." She didn't laugh. She squinted at the return address. "This looks real." I opened the full packet. It had my service record, a call update, and instructions to report for a medical review. I called the number. The guy answered like it was just another Tuesday. I said, I'm 42, right? My knees crack when I sneeze. He said, "Sir, you're still in the IRR." "In the what now?" "The Individual Ready Reserve. You agreed to it when you signed the dotted line." That dotted line was from 2 wars, 3 presidents, and a full hairline ago. I said, "I'm a civilian now. I coach Little League." He replied, "Then bring your gloves, sir. We might need you." A week later, I was in a room with 5 other wide-eyed veterans who all had the same reaction. This can't be real. One guy showed up in a Hawaiian shirt and flip-flops. Another brought his toddler thinking it was a benefits meeting. One guy even asked if this was a prank show. Another said he'd only come if coffee was included. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. They ran us through a light physical. I say light because the nurse gave me a high five just for touching my toes. The doc looked at my x-rays, laughed, and said, "Your spine's got more metal than a toolbox." I said, "So I'm disqualified, right?" He said, "Technically? No, you're durable." That night, I got a call. "You've been deemed fit for potential service." My wife looked at me like I'd just joined a boy band. I said, "It's probably just a formality." Next morning, orders, real ones. I called the number again. "There must be a mistake." They said, "We're short on instructors. You'll be training, not deployed." I sighed. "Fine, but I'm bringing my own ibuprofen." So there I was, 10 years out, standing in front of a new batch of recruits. They were calling me sir with faces that hadn't seen a dial-up connection in their lives. One kid asked if I fought in Vietnam. I said, "Do I look like I fought in Vietnam?" Another asked, "Did they have Wi-Fi during your deployment?" I said, "No, but we had flip phones and they were indestructible. They thought MREs were a TikTok challenge." One said, "Sir, is this even food?" I said, "Son, that's lasagna. Respect it." I wasn't the fastest or the loudest, but I was the most caffeinated. And when one kid passed out mid-push-up, I knelt beside him and said, "Son, I got recalled for this. You're gonna get back up." By week 3, I was known as Uncle Steelback. I wasn't sure if it was a compliment or a cry for help. One recruit drew a comic of me battling a vending machine for a protein bar. I kept it. It's framed now. Turns out you can get called back after 10 years. And if you do, you'll serve again, with more gray hair, less cartilage, and a whole lot of stories. The recruit stopped asking if I was ancient and started asking for advice. I told them, "Hydrate, don't skip leg day, and never trust a quiet drill sergeant." One even asked if I missed civilian life. I said, "Not yet. You kids keep me laughing." Another handed me a handwritten thank you note after graduation. I nearly cried into my coffee. The military may have reactivated my duty, but those kids reactivated my pride. They recalled a veteran, but they reactivated a legend.